Buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon. As you already know, I'm Comandanta Xochitl with the Brown Beret organization. And as my sister said here, 5 years I've been a Brown Beret. And this is something that I got into because, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I happen to be a child of migrant parents and migrant grandparents as well, so forth and so forth. In reality, my great-great-grandparents were here before any borders. So that's my story. I grew up the first 5-6 years of my life on strawberry fields. My father worked the field for over 30 years in Shore County, particularly in Oxnard, Port Wayne. My mother was a housekeeper for many, many years, and she was a wonderful mother and a wonderful wife. My mom, I remember, well, I don't remember, but she told me several times she had to cross the border with me in her arms from Juarez to El Paso, just right over the street, just right over that man-made border. You know, it's unfortunate that I was actually born right over, and they would give her such a hard time for my mom to come over to take me to the hospital, to take me to the doctor because I was sick. They barely hardly gave her any pity, showed her any pity when the newborn child needed medical assistance in her being from El Otro Lado. So, with that being said, this is why I became a Brown Beret, because I couldn't stand to see my people being mistreated, and I was tired of seeing all the injustices being done to my gente. And I thought, I can't do anything behind a screen. I can't do anything just sitting here in my living room. So I waited for my kids to grow up. And as you can see, I have my little one over there. She's a little Brown Beret cadet, and her name is Iris. She's been born in La Causa. So with that, I want to share a speech with you guys. That is a collective speech from our entire Brown Beret organization. That you can see my Capitana here in front of me, my officer behind her, and another officer around somewhere. I have a couple of a recruit back there too. This is our collective speech, and so it goes a little bit like this. And I often, every time I see these things happening, when we're here today, I ask, why do they do this to us? Why do they keep doing this to us particularly? So for over 170 years that the Europeans have been here in the Southwest, they have marginalized, brutalized, criminalized, raped, murdered, and used us as scapegoats for all their problems. In spite of how they have treated us for over 170 years, they are still trying to sell us on this illusion that we are loved and accepted here, that all we have to do is work hard and be part of the American dream. We can actually take it further back to 561 years if we wanted to. It's nothing new that they have made it extremely hard for us to be on our own land in this country. Yet they benefit from our hard work and labor in any way possible. Our people have, in many cases, moved only miles on the train and died on foot, while Euro-Americans have taken flights and boats to get here. This country wouldn't be anything without us, from the homes and the buildings built in every state to all the food you eat in the restaurants, your landscaping and the housekeeping, just to name a few. We have the most skilled agricultural workers, yet so underpaid. Many migrant workers in Florida have moved out of state where there is no such law like SB 1718. Farm owners have no choice but to have hired European Americans, Anglos, for these jobs, and most showed up late or too slow, wanted to go home by noon, or even quit on the same day. They tell us that if we assimilate and give them our children for them to brainwash, we will do just fine. When they say things like, we're all American, all we hear is them saying, I'm white. You pretend to be white and we'll all get along. How can we believe that when all we see is hatred against our people? White America's reality is not our reality. Our people live in fear from the police murdering us, from the migra murdering or deporting us and stealing our babies, from white supremacists going into our communities and our places of business, harassing us, displacing us, deporting us, and murdering us. We can stand here and shout all our demands all day long, but the reality is, we have the richest government in the world with some of the poorest people on the street. But who breaks their backs out there in the fields? Who works the hardest selling food and handcrafted custom merchandise on the streets? SB 1718 is among the many decisions that create the conditions for the contradiction, a startling violent relationship that is also very unstable and simply cannot last. It is a tightening of the state's grasp on immigrant labor, but it won't prevent it from happening. Laws don't prevent actions, but instead punish them. So what do we do about it? We agitate against it, teach people to understand its true nature, and build power to overthrow it. You cannot do this by changing the laws. You can't undo the effects of centuries of abuse. You can only rebuild, repair, and heal, which is why we say land back, and why we must think of new ways of existing and being. That doesn't reflect the settler colonial reality of America. No amount of laws will change this fundamental relationship of extraction from the USA to the rest of the world. We see in the most recent shipment of migrants to Chinatown from Texas, there were Venezuelans, Hondurans, Nicaraguenses, and Africans. All people displaced from their lands by USA and Europe's foreign policy. Without a restructuring of global order, that is to say, without destruction of imperial relations, there cannot be any healthy migration to America, which is what it is. Gracias. That was amazing. Thank you so much.